Welcome to the Floating Dojo. I'm going to be going over a quick Florian Silver Edge deck for you guys. It's a Nebula Blade build, focusing a little bit on non-attacks, pumping up this weapon, as well as big attacks to be thrown with some Runechants behind it. A lot of people really haven't been loving what Florian does in Silver Age, with it being such a fast format with a lot of these aggro heroes and redline decks really pushing a lot of damage. But this deck has the possibility to throw, between 10 and 14 Runechant turns if you can set it up correctly and capitalize on your blocking and his hero ability, making that extra Runechant. So against a lot of these red line decks, if you can get online fast enough and do your thing, you can really rip them. And I've personally been really loving this deck. It's been a lot of fun to play. It's pretty simple when it comes to this concept, right? It blocks effectively, it creates Runechants with its own abilities, and it either attacks with the Nebula Blade or it decomposes or swings a big attack pumped by Bramble Spark, stuff like that. So something this deck also does really well is it has a lot of poppers in it naturally, running Amplify the Arknight, Cadaverous Tilling, Fruits of the Forest in red and blue. I run the reds for matchups that poppers are usually better to have, as well as Summer's Fall. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8 poppers in the deck naturally, which is super solid. Going against heroes like Dromai, Enigma runs Phantasm stuff. They're more of a defensive deck usually, so I don't have to worry about that as much. But with it being Silver Age and having those rares, you get access to this called Arcane Life Seeds, which is insane in this format. Making 4 Runechants in Gaming Life when he's online is just super, super good in this format. Also, blocking 6 and then swinging 8. Getting 14 value out of a hand is great. It also turns your hero ability online if you block well. So having the Fruits of the Forest access to discard to gain health is fantastic. You also get some D-Reacts. So Sigil of Suffering, kill them on their own turn. Classic Runeblade stuff. This card is super, super good. Again, against those red line decks that don't want to pitch. I mean, it's a 0 for 4 D-React that deals the damage to them. Reduced Runechant, also very, very good, especially when Florian is online. This becomes a 2 Runechant creation. So you're blocking 4, creating 2, usually for free if you can chain your Runechants pretty well. So you're getting 6 value really out of this one card, which is super good. So yeah, some of our pumps, I guess, the non-attacks that trigger our Nebula Blade here, they're really important, is the Arcane Seed Life. Condemned to Slaughter, some of the aura hate, which is really nice. A lot of these decks are making auras and needing auras to function. So giving an extra Blade attack, which triggers on the Nebula Blade, costs 1, Nebula Blade costs 2, so a blue with your Condemned to Slaughter works perfectly. And you're going to be able to come in for 7, which is a nice break point, especially when there's not a lot of DRX for a lot of these heroes. We also have things like Runeblood Incantation, which makes a Runechant every turn, or 2 if he's online. A Malefic Incantation, which makes a Runechant 3 times every time you attack with an attack action. It does 1 with 3 counters. Again, if you're online, that's 6. And then we also have kind of an odd choice here, Sigil of the Arknight. I've been really liking just getting to throw this out if you have an extra blue hand. I mean, sometimes you can spike a little bit and you can draw an attack action next turn and get to do a better attack, or you can just block better and kind of just gamble with this. But I've been liking it. They could probably fill with something else more consistent, but I think it's kind of spicy. It's kind of cool, and I've been really liking it. And then So Tomorrow, which this is not only is it a non-attack that will trigger your Nebula Blade, it banishes itself. So if you can get 3 Earth cards in your graveyard, decompose 1 time with 3 cards, and then play a So Tomorrow, you don't need to decompose again. You're already at your 4 banishes, so you're already online. So you don't need to decompose twice, which is super nice when I'm only running 4 decomposed cards. I could be running the Gain Life decomposed card over something like Deathly Duet, but I think Deathly Duet's a really cool card. Making 2 Runechants or 3 if you're online or coming in for 6 of an attack is also sick, and it blocks for 3, which I like. This could be swapped out for that Earth Decompose, Gain a Life, Blossoming Decay, but I've been liking this. I think it's really cool. And it's been functioning very well. So some of our other blues that we're running here, we got Autumn's Touch blue, just a blue-black 3. Earth Form, it's a nice 2/3 for 5 that makes an embodiment, so those extra blue hands late in the game can be really nice. As well as Evergreen, which replaces itself if you play from Arsenal, which could be kind of cool. Lastly, we have Vexing Malice. So a lot of those decks that are running AB1, like Enigma, or some of the other more fatiguey decks, they're just pitching away over and over and over again. If you can get this late game, you can just force kill them because they won't have the prevention. They've gone through all of their arcane polarities. They've gone through all of their other prevention stuff. This can do a lot of closing out games very easily, and it blocks 3. So, blue card block 3, good card. Our sideboard, we're running Crown of Dichotomy for AB1 on the hood. It's same as No Rune hood, but it has extra text, so it's better, right? We have No Rune Boots. And the Reaping Blade's in here for the sideboard. I've been considering running this into decks like Verdance that are just trying to life gain like crazy. I haven't had to have a lot of testing yet, but I have it in there just in case. Just an option. We also have some Blade Beckoner equipment here. Good for the matchups that are going to be racing really heavy aggro. Sometimes when I play the super aggro redline decks, I don't run well grounded because it's too hard to get online faster than they'll kill you. So I'll just run the Blade Beckoner boots instead. Excuse me. You just get more value out of it a little bit faster. And you just don't have a wasted boot slot. And then Arcane Polarity and Oasis Respite, pretty common sideboard cards right now. Other thing around here is the Plume of Evergrowth. This can be super versatile depending on the matchup. In matchups like Dromai, where you need to have a popper, you can turn a blue into a popper on command if you have a 6 power in your graveyard, which can be really nice for being able to clear their board faster and take tempo back. Trading a blue in hand when you have 4 cards for a popper if you don't have one can be really massive. You can also chain this with Arcane Seed's Life mid-late game when you're online, and you can play this, pitch a blue to Plume, play it again, bring it back. That's making 8 Runechants, gaining 2 life, making this worth a 10-point basically swing. And then if you have another blue, you could swing your Nebula Blade for 4 on hit, make 2 more Runechants. So you're coming in for 8 and 4 on hit, make 2. Or you could hold, if you have another card, this only takes this and a blue. So this is only a 2-card hand. You're going to be able to do that. And then you just need to hold a blue to Nebula Blade, so it's a 3-card. Or if you have an Arsenal, you can hold a 2nd card. Then you could swing a Cadaverous or a Deathly Duet or a Summer's Fall or Amplify the Arcanite for free. Because this doesn't cost anything because you have the Runechants already. So it's really versatile, and you can do a lot of different things with it to kind of get your value out of it, which is super sick. And I think this is probably the best head place you can run in this deck because it's just, again, so versatile. But yeah, I've been really digging this deck. I think it's really cool. I think it's a bit of a sleeper. I think a lot of other people are kind of thinking Briar is better. The redline aggro stuff is better. Swinging pure damage is better, which, I mean, in most cases, yeah, probably is. But I dig kind of different decks a little bit, and I think Florian has some legs, and I think if you can play him and pilot him correctly, I think you can make a lot of those aggro decks really question how to take care of your split damage effectively, giving you a good amount of tempo. Try it out. Let me know what you think. Again, this is kind of an early build. I am considering changing out some stuff. Considering going up a Decompose just for those faster matchups. But for right now, I've really been enjoying how this has been playing, and it's been winning a good amount of matches for me. So we'll get you guys some gameplay on this deck coming up real fast. But other than that, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, we are going into a Dromai here, some Florian gameplay in Sage. Coming out to the Sweeping Blow, coming for 2, when it attacks it makes an Ash. Looking at our hand here, we got a pretty nice Condemned slot and a blue here for this nice Nebula Blade, maybe Arsenal at Bramble Spark. It'll depend on what he comes in with, but I think we just block this 2 cleanly with an Earth card to guarantee that we can set up that Decompose faster. So we're going to block 2 here. They're usually just trying to make Ash set up. Let's hit you make an Ash. Oh, undid. Oh, he's invoking Uvia. I'm going to guess just really trying to get some value. Which, yeah, I mean, makes a lot of sense. So I think we're going to just block as much as we can early and... So we really want to clear Uvia quickly because we don't want that lying around. So what we're going to do here, depending on how we draw, He doesn't have any more Ash, so he actually can't transform this turn unless he just like happens to draw one, which is kind of nice for us. So I think what we're gonna do is we don't need the Arsenal here. Play Sigil. Play Malefic. Get some stuff out on the board. We'll play Condemned Slaughter, pitch in that. And then he doesn't have any auras, so we don't need to destroy any auras, or else we're just going to lose out on value. Then we swing the Nebula Blade at Dromai. We can really comfortably do this because Uvia doesn't have any Ash to trigger to target, so I don't need to worry about losing out on any value here, which is nice. They block 7, that's fine. We got a little bit of a setup going. We drew a Popper, which is nice, so hopefully we'll be able to pop Uvia and kill her and get rid of that. Good other Condemn, which is nice as well, so we can hold on to a blue. Get some good there. We'll block with that Vexing Malice. We don't mind blocking early. Again, setting up the graveyard is nice for us. I think we're going to bait that Ash. We're just going to let it hit. And they're not even going to swing with Uvia. Understandably so. They probably just don't want to lose out on the possible value. So we have a blue on top, which is, I mean, let us know. We didn't draw anything. Didn't really need to. What we're honestly just going to do, now that Uvia's around, they can turn one Ash in, but we have an opportunity to decompose, which is really nice. So I think it has 6 health, which is kind of annoying. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to swing this at Uvia, which is kind of a bummer, but we make a Runechant on the back. We get to decompose, which is nice. Choosing 2 Earth. So we don't get any damage, but they don't get to do anything. It also puts a Popper in our graveyard if we decide we want to pull one out. And we drew another one, so we have 2 at this moment, which is nice. Alright, 1 for 5. Destroy Grid and Ash. Not really doing anything. I think we'll actually use the Sigil of Suffering here. And we'll probably use that there too. Just cover it up. Because we're not doing anything crazy. They had the Arcane Polarity, but we didn't have any Runechants yet, so it's kind of just a loss for them. We could have popped that if we wanted to, but they had a full hand with Silent Stilettos, so part of me, with the blue chill in there, kind of felt like a waste to use the Popper. But I think here we're okay popping this because they'll have to blow the Stilettos now, which could be nice for us to know it's gone. But it also just shuts their turn down. They IP themselves, and we can throw some damage face now, which is really nice. And we can Arsenal the So tomorrow, which is delicious for us. Fantastic for us. So, especially with the Garland still, that's a free banish card, which puts us up 1, and we can put a Bramble Spark or a Tilling back in the deck, which could be really nice. I feel like we have a decent amount. We're not like fully tempoed here, but we're doing some stuff. So that's going to hit. We're going to make a Runechant, which is sweet. We're going to move that to Arsenal and pass. So, alright. They drew Kyloria, which is fine. Because we have Amplify the Arknight here, which is super nice. Pop Kyloria, get rid of him. We don't want that sticking around. That just does nothing but messes with us. We have some floating resources with this blue here, so I think we're just going to play that pitching. We have to gamble. We can use the... Okay, cool. We had 2 floating, so we know this is going to cost 1 less because of the Runechant, so this only costs 2, so we don't have to worry too much about it. I'm going to probably say kind of an awkward hand. We can't decompose if we wanted to. Oops. We don't want to do that. That was a misclick. I think we probably just play this and swing Nebula Blade. I think we just hold on to this as a popper. It may feel weird to not do stuff. But I'm not even going to arsenal it because I want to have more poppers in hand because swing something like Yandere, absolutely need to have poppers in hand because we cannot just let them build a board state. So he's got a 4 there. That's fine. We'll swing Sigil here and see if he gives us the resource, which could, we'll see what he got. He does. That's fine. We'll take a damage. That's no biggie. Asvalite comes in. We're just going to pop him. Oh, just kidding. Yeah, Asvalite comes in. We're definitely just going to pop him here. We'll pop him. We'll pop him with that. Because what we're going to want to do is we're going to go Garland here and then Summer's Fall at the Dromai. Just to deal some damage, as well as we have enough Earth cards to decompose again and get us a little setup. So we'll be online now, which is nice. We're going to say no auras to the bottom because I don't really want to bottom any auras. Just don't. This also gives us another 6 target in there for the plume to pull a popper out if need be. So, yeah, overall, feeling pretty good in the position that we're at right now. Just going to see how he blocks and go from there. Block with a mirror guy. Sounds good. Using block is a pretty good card. Pretty good card. Oh, they have Dromai, which makes sense. So Dromai makes a popper here really bad. But I have this Bramble Spark, which means I could Bramble Spark for 8, which is really nice. And I'm thinking about taking a little bit of damage here just so that I can... because I'd be taking 6 plus whatever's in their hand. I think we have to... I wanted to respond to Dromai. Just sending Plume. Pulling the Summer's Fall back. Blocking with it. Just to get rid of it now. Because I think we just need to make sure that board stays clear. As clear as possible. The Yandere is fine. That's not a big deal. Play that. Playing a Passing Mirage and passing. Alright, so that. And then we're going to swing this. Honestly, I think we throw that at the Passing Mirage and just get rid of it. Then let the Runechants go in. That's fine. I mean, they're going to make Ash off of that, which is kind of good for them, but also, like, just less cards that we have to worry about. So, I'm not upset about them pitching to the Runechants. And then we're going to Arsenal this Bramble Spark and draw blue so that we can fling something good later. Alright, and I got the Mirror guy out, which is pretty good. Yandere for 3. We'll take 3 here. Because we can actually go for a pretty big attack here, which is nice. And he's not even attacking with Mirror Guy here. He's just doing the dust up before a transform an Ash to an Ashwing. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to block 2 and then use the Well-Grounded to cover up the extra to stop that from hitting. So we're going to Bramble Spark. Revealing that. Yeah. Malefic. And then we're going to Autumn's Touch him. We have enough poppers in the deck that I'm pretty content playing a big hand like this and just going for some raw damage. Had to blue that turn, which is a little unfortunate for us. But remember, he has to play a red to get the go again, right? So, and then they're coming for 8 on top. So, like, hopefully we take, 2 or 3 cards out of their hand and can really hold tempo here. We're putting them to 3 here. That's pretty nice. Considering we have 4 Runechants, that's really good. I think we just stay alive and then send face probably here as best we can. Because we don't have a popper. So we're gonna honestly just go for a kill here. Which we're not dead at this position yet. Okay, so this is up to 3. Gain a resource and drew a card. I'm gonna reduce the Runechant here. Save a little health and make extra Runechants. And then Mirror Guy swings for 2. We'll pass. 5. And hope he didn't draw a 1-cost attack or something. He's Arsenals, which he does. Which is great. So we're at 7, 8 Runechants. We're going to Arcane Seeds, doing both. Going up to 6 here, making 12 Runechants. And then we're going to swing here and just pray that we caught them. And they had the Calming Breeze, which is a little annoying. They had 2 Calming Breezes. That's crazy. Wow. Is what it is, but I think we still get over the top because this still comes in for 4, and it does, and we got him. Super tough game. Honestly, playing that out and ignoring that board was hard, but knowing I had so many Runechants built up, I felt pretty comfortable just swinging face with that nice Arcane Seeds there at the end. And again, that reduced to Runechant gave 2 extra Runechants on top of it, which like is just insane amount of value. So again, like, yeah, it's not a redline aggro deck, but making so many Runechants against decks like Dromai that don't have a lot of blues and yellows in the deck, you can just catch them on a full red hand like this and just run away with the game, even if they have a full board state out. So, yeah, thanks for watching. This was a super fun one. I think you really got to see how the deck operated pretty well into this matchup. So, all right, going into a Scurv here, some Project Blue Florian deck. Open the Shifting Tides into Sirens. I'm going to gain some health. He's got a floater. I really don't want to waste this Sigil right now. I'd rather maybe like Arsenal that. So I think I'm just going to overblock. And maybe we'll try and draw something a little better. Maybe we block with the Sigil and the Earth card there. Yeah. And then maybe we'll draw something we can counter, use the Nebula Blade, maybe Arsenal that Sigil for next turn. Just because, yeah. I mean, honestly, this is fine. I think, so we could swing the fruits for 7, and we're going to have a floating card just like chilling left over. So I think I'd rather fire this for 5. We'll instant discard the fruits with 2 Earth cards in the graveyard. That'll have us be online for a decomposition. This other is a nice on hit too, as opposed to this doesn't have any on hit, it's just damage. So I'll try and convince him to maybe let it hit, give us an embodiment, or if he blocks it out, whatever. But either we'll gain a health from that and we'll Arsenal that Sigil. I think that's a little bit better. We'll just discard that. He's just going to give it to us, which is really nice. So that's a good swing. With the D-React and Arsenal, and he did it. We drew a decomposition card. So, overall, really happy with the position we're at. Like I say, he's running pummels, which this is a pretty common thing we're seeing Scurv right now running. Going for the big boat attacks, pirate attacks, and such. Nice combo with the blue sea and the Shifting Tides. Have a nice hand here. 6 go again is pretty good. I think we're going to just start locking a little bit early here. There's no on hit with this. Actually, we'll block 6 here. We have the D-React in case he goes for a pummel. He might have one. If he does, he does. He does not. Okay, cool. That's fine. I'm not going to get much value out of this, unfortunately, because they're only non-attack of the 2 block, but makes it a 3. We could just Arsenal Summer's Fall if we don't get anything to happen. But that's okay. Swinging another sloop. 4 go again. No Nothing really crazy here. No really big on hit. So I think I'm just gonna let that one hit. I'll take some damage here. Maybe he throws like a 0 for 4 snatch or something, or does something at the end here, and I can. There's another shifting tides, right? So that's both of them. Trying to gain a resource, and he's coming in for a big swing. I'm guessing here to end it. So it does get the ability, which is kind of cool. It's pretty solid. He has no floating now, which is nice. So we're gonna get the value out of our sigil here. So I think I'm gonna just block one. And actually, what's really cool here is that our Summer's Fall is going to put that on the bottom, so he's going to lose the value from that, which is 6. So we're going to deal a damage, put him to 15, go to 17. He's going to make some auras. That's fine. I'm going to bottom that Shifting Tides regardless because we don't want that extra resource on his side. Earth. Go action there. Get rid of that. Come in for 6 clean. He does not have his power, so cool. Okay. So we're looking pretty good in health here. Seems like we're some good tempo. He has the go again from the agility, which is good, but he doesn't have the extra resources available from the pitch, so it may be a little harder for him to do some wider attacks with the extra sloops and stuff. So we drew a nice Condemned Slaughter in a blue. We played Nebula Blade here. We don't have any auras, unfortunately, so we can't do anything with that. 6 go again's pretty good. I'm going to just block. We could technically also always pull this back out with one of these blues, so should block 3. Then if we need to, we can block with the Condemn and hold something else. We'll take 3 again. Okay with that. Okay. Pretty good. I think what we're going to do... we don't have a floater here, which is kind of a bummer. I think we honestly have to just give them the blocks, and then we'll Arsenal the Condemn and pass. I think I'm okay with that. Denying the on-hit from that is good. Set us up a little bit here. Nice Bramble with one of these blues would be good. The resource float, you can use a Garland for the Rune Blood Incantation here if we decide to hold it. Really comes down to how much he can pressure us this turn without any auras or free resources. So hopefully he gets a little stuffed here, and then we can capitalize on that. We very well could have a pummel here. Pummel puts it to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we die from 11 if that hits us with a red pummel, which is a little scary. I think we're going to block 5. I hope he doesn't have it. That's all we can do. I can't really play around pummel all game. Awesome. He did not have it. That is really nice for us. I'm going to use the Garland here so that I can play the incantation out. We're not going to destroy an aura, and we'll come in for 7. Set us up a little bit. 2 tests of strength, and we win both with the Amplify the Arcanite on top. That's pretty nice. So that actually protects us from Money or Your Life like crazy. We also know he has a red pummel on top of his deck, so we know he's going to have pummels coming, possibly. We draw the Reduce here, which could have been nicer if we had the Runechant available, but we don't, but that's okay. It's an all-red hand, which is a little awkward. And we know we have the pummel. What we could do is simply just block out here and Arsenal this. We're going to make a Runechant, which means that this will be active next turn for sure when he draws that red pummel, and then we can kind of hopefully play around it. No, we'll be able to play around it because we know we have the pummel in Arsenal, or the reaction in Arsenal to defend that. All right, yeah, we know it was there. I think we're okay just taking one here. I'm imagining he's just gonna play Sticky Fingers. Okay, so he does steal a gold, which is a little annoying. So this is really awkward not having a blue. Unfortunately, it's like quite awkward. Because I want to block, but like the hand doesn't do much if we know he's gonna have a red pummel in hand. So I'm thinking that we could block with this, but I want to keep the Runechant around because I don't want to lose the value from the reduce because we're free with that. But it's just like I'm not gonna block with all these cards, and there's no way that I could do this. Discard, play the Malefic, and pass. I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna play Malefic, discard, gain 2, and pass. And he'll probably be able to steal it with that. Is what it is. We drew another one, which is nice. We have 2 4 blocks, which is awesome. Awesome for us. And a condemn and a blue and amplify. All right, and we know he has a red pummel, right? So we can for sure be prepared to play around that. So this is coming in for 9 basically. So if we block 3 here and then double reduce, we're looking good. Yeah, we knew he had it. So we bait that. That's fine. It's going to make another one. And then this is going to make another one. So we're going to have a nice little Runechant party coming on here. And honestly, I think this is going to be pretty good tempo-wise for us. Because I can also... That's an item, so it's an aura, unfortunately. I can't blow that up with Condemn. But we have 3... we're going to have 4 Runechants to start this turn, which will be nice. And then we're going to be able to Condemn. I'm not going to blow anything up. And then we'll swing it at Scurv because I don't really care for Sticky Fingers yet. We're at 12 health. I don't really need the gold. Him stealing it's like cool and he can do his ability with it, but I'd rather just throw face and get a health lead. I think I also have not seen much Decompose cards. We haven't seen any of our Decompose cards. We've seen 1 Summer's Fall, and that is it. So there's still 3 more in here. We're probably going to draw one in the next turn or 2, which will put us online. We also haven't seen any Arcane Seeds Life. So we're going to have, and we still have another room incantation, and yeah, we have both our incantations. We still have 1 on the deck. So we should be doing pretty good here. I'm just going to have to wait and see. But yeah, he forfeit. He had 3 reds and a yellow, so he would have had to have taken 4 and then like blocked and then been able to do basically nothing. Or he has to eat the entire thing to swing like 6 or 7. So he's unfortunately like just really did not draw well there. But yeah, so thank you for stopping by and checking out some Silver Age gameplay. I hope you've been enjoying it as much as I have been. If you have any heroes or content you'd like to see from me, leave a message, drop a comment, let me know. I pretty new to the content creation for Flesh and Blood, but it's been very rewarding and I've been really much enjoying making content for other players, just to learn the game more and check out what I've been working on. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.